Chapter 1. The Architecture of the Cosmos and the Birth of Stars, Section 1. The Great Silence of the Night Sky. The universe, in its grandest and most magnificent scale, is the eternal monument to stillness. When we step outside on a clear, crisp night and lift our eyes toward the heavens, we are not merely looking at the sky. We are looking into an infinite ocean of profound, unyielding quiet. It is a vast expanse where time and space intertwine so perfectly that the chaos, noise, and speed of our daily lives begin to dissolve into the background. Every single star you see in the dark sky is a distant, majestic sun, burning with absolute patience, casting its gentle light across trillions of miles of empty space just to reach your eyes. This light has traveled for centuries, moving through the cold, dark void, carrying with it the ancient, beautiful history of the cosmos. As you listen to the steady, calm rhythm of my voice, allow your mind to wander into this infinite darkness. Imagine yourself floating safely and comfortably above the earth, looking down at the soft, glowing blue curve of our planet. From up here, there are no borders, no schedules, no urgent tasks, and no worries. There is only the gentle, rhythmic turning of the world below. The continents move slowly through the shadows, wrapped in a protective blanket of soft white clouds. The oceans catch the faint glint of distant starlight, glowing with a deep, peaceful blue. Everything in the universe is moving exactly as it should, guided by the timeless, unchanging laws of nature. You are safe, you are completely still, and you are an intrinsic part of this beautiful, cosmic dance. Beneath the surface of our immediate awareness, the universe operates on a scale of time that is completely foreign to our hurried world. To a human being, a single year is a long journey of seasons, challenges, and personal growth. But to the cosmos, a human lifetime is less than a single, quiet beat of an atomic clock. The grand mountains on Earth rise and fall like slow waves on an ancient ocean. The continents drift, move, and reshape themselves over hundreds of millions of years. And the stars themselves live for billions of years, burning their nuclear fuel with a steady, unhurried devotion to the dark. When we connect our minds to this grand, majestic scale of time, the pressures of tomorrow begin to fade away into nothingness. There is no need to rush. There is no need to worry. There is only the present moment, expanding outward into the infinite, peaceful night. Section 2. The Velvet Fabric of Spacetime. Let us journey deeper into the structural fabric of our reality. For a long time, humanity believed that space was simply an empty room, a blank, cold stage upon which the stars and planets played their parts. But modern physics has revealed a much more beautiful and comforting truth. Space is not empty. It is a living, flexible fabric, a continuous, elegant tapestry known as space-time. Imagine a vast, infinitely soft sheet of dark, heavy velvet stretched out across the entire universe. Every object that possesses mass, every planet, every moon, every star, and every massive galaxy sits upon this velvet fabric, creating a gentle, smooth curve. When a massive star sits in the center of a solar system, its weight creates a deep, elegant bowl in the fabric of space. The planets do not fall into this bowl. Instead, they roll smoothly and endlessly around its edges, tracing perfect, beautiful circles through the dark. This is what we perceive as gravity. It is not a mysterious, violent cord pulling objects together, but rather the natural, effortless geometry of space itself. Even time, The invisible, steady river that carries us forward is affected by this geometry. Near a heavy object, where the curve of space is deep and profound, time itself slows down. It stretches out like warm honey, becoming thicker, moving with a heavy, luxurious slowness that brings total peace to the environment. Think about the profound serenity of this reality. Time is not a rigid, stressful machine clicking away at a fixed, artificial speed. It is fluid, organic, and deeply connected to the matter around it. In the deep spaces between the distant galaxies, far away from the heavy pulling of stars, time flows with pure, unrestricted freedom. It is an environment of absolute calm, where nothing changes for eons, and where the concept of a deadline, a schedule, or anxiety simply ceases to exist. As you lie here tonight, imagine your own perspective expanding to match this cosmic fluidity. Let your thoughts stretch out, becoming soft, quiet, and unhurried, blending seamlessly with the dark, heavy velvet fabric of the universe. Section 3. Cosmic Cradles and Nebulae. In the deepest pockets of the interstellar void, far beyond the reach of our solar system, lie the grandest and most colorful structures in creation, the nebulae. These are cosmic clouds of unimaginable size, stretching across light years of space. They are composed of the finest cosmic dust and the simplest, most fundamental gases, mostly hydrogen and helium. To the human eye, aided by our greatest telescopes, these clouds look like majestic, glowing castles of purple, gold, deep indigo, and soft rose. They are completely silent, drifting through the dark like soft smoke in a quiet, warm room. For millions of years, a nebula remains in this state of absolute suspension and peace. It is a place of pure potential, a cosmic cradle waiting for the right moment to awaken. Slowly, over periods of time that stagger the human imagination, the invisible, gentle hands of gravity begin to stir the gas. Particles that were once separated by millions of miles begin to feel a faint, gentle attraction to one another. They begin to move closer, drifting through the dark toward a common center. There is no collision, no noise, and no violence, just a slow, collective gathering of matter, like snowflakes gently coming together in the dark to form a soft drift. As the center of the cosmic cloud grows heavier, it begins to draw in more and more material from the surrounding space. The density increases, and with it, the internal temperature begins to rise. What was once a cold, dark mist transforms into a warm, glowing sphere of pure gas. This is a protostar, an infant sun wrapped in a protective, comforting blanket of cosmic dust. For thousands of centuries, this young star continues to draw energy from its surroundings, growing stronger, warmer, more stable, and more radiant in the deep quiet of the night. Finally, a beautiful historic threshold is reached. The core of the star becomes so hot and dense that the hydrogen atoms begin to fuse together, transforming into helium. This process, known as nuclear fusion, releases a steady, brilliant stream of pure, warm energy. The star ignites, casting its very first light into the darkness of the surrounding nebula. The remaining dust and gas are gently blown away by the star's new warmth, revealing a pristine, shining sun that will burn brightly for the next 10 billion years. This is the story of our own sun, and it is a process that is repeating itself right now in thousands of quiet nurseries across the Milky Way while the world sleeps. Section 4. The Symphony of Stardust. The birth of a star is not just an isolated event in the dark. It is the fundamental mechanism through which the universe creates life and complexity. In the early days of the cosmos, shortly after the initial expansion, the universe was a very simple, quiet place. It contained only the simplest elements, hydrogen and helium. There were no planets, no rocks, no water, and no living things. The universe was a vast, dark canvas waiting for the brilliant colors of the elements to be painted upon it. Stars are the cosmic artists that create these colors. Inside the blazing, dense core of a living star, the immense pressure and heat act as a divine, ancient forge. As the star lives its long, peaceful life, it continuously fuses lighter elements into heavier ones. Hydrogen becomes helium. Helium becomes carbon, the very foundation of all organic material and life. Carbon fuses into oxygen, the gas that fills our lungs right now and forms the pristine, deep waters of our oceans. Silicon and iron are created, the very materials that make up the rocky ground beneath our feet and the cores of the planets. When a massive star reaches the end of its long, beautiful journey, it does not simply disappear from the night sky. Instead, it concludes its life in a grand, majestic event known as a supernova. The star gently sheds its outer layers, releasing its material in a spectacular, silent flash of cosmic light. This material, now enriched with carbon, oxygen, iron, and gold, is scattered back into the deep space from which it came. It mixes with the existing nebulae, seeding the clouds with the ingredients necessary to build new worlds, new oceans, and new life. Every single atom in your body, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your DNA, was forged inside the white-hot core of a star that lived and died billions of years ago. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are an intrinsic, living piece of it. We are made of stardust, organized by nature to look back up at the night sky and wonder. As you drift closer to sleep, feel the comfort of this profound connection. You belong to the universe. You are supported by its history, built from its finest materials, and resting safely within its eternal, warm embrace. The universe is vast, patient, and quiet, and you can let go now. Sleep. Deep, peaceful sleep. Chapter 2. The Geometry of Darkness and the Secrets of Black Holes, Action 1. The Invisible Foundations of Reality. As we leave the brilliant light of stellar nurseries behind, our journey takes us deeper into the absolute quiet of the cosmic ocean. To truly understand the universe, we must look not only at the glowing stars, but at the vast, velvety darkness that blankets the space between them. For many centuries, humanity believed that this darkness was simply empty nothingness. We thought of it as a cold vacuum, a mere absence of matter. But modern physics has revealed that this cosmic darkness is actually a beautiful, structured medium, an invisible foundation that holds the entire universe together in perfect, timeless suspension. Imagine the universe as a silent, endless ocean of deep black glass. When there are no stars, planets, or galaxies nearby, this glass is perfectly flat, smooth, and completely undisturbed. In this state of total emptiness, there is no weight, no friction, and no resistance. There is only an unyielding, pristine peace. If an object were placed in this void, it would drift forever in a perfectly straight line, moving with a constant, effortless speed, wrapped in the absolute serenity of the interstellar night. It would know no gravity, no pressure, and no change. It would exist in a state of eternal rest. But the moment a massive object enters this silent ocean, the fabric of space begins to soften and respond. A planet, a moon, or a burning sun acts like a gentle weight placed upon a flexible tapestry. It creates a smooth, elegant depression in the fabric of reality itself. The heavier the object, the deeper and wider this gravitational valley becomes. This is the true, grand nature of gravity. It is not an active, violent force pulling objects together through a vacuum. It is the natural, graceful geometry of space-time. When a planet loops around its sun, it is simply following the soft, curved slopes of the valley that the sun has carved in the universe. It moves without a single drop of effort, gliding along the perfect paths of cosmic geometry. As you rest in the quiet of your room tonight, allow your mind to connect with this concept of effortless, natural motion. Your body is resting safely upon the bed, held securely by the very same gravity that guides the paths of the stars. You do not need to fight or struggle against the current of your life. Like the planets moving along the smooth curves of space, you can allow yourself to be carried by the steady, quiet laws of nature. The universe does not require effort to maintain its harmony. It exists in a state of continuous, automatic balance, and so do you. Breathe in the stillness of this grand architecture and let yourself sink deeper into the heavy, comforting embrace of the Earth. Section 2. The fluidity of cosmic time. As the weight of the stars bends the fabric of space, it pulls another fundamental dimension along with it, the dimension of time. In our daily lives, we often treat time as a strict, unyielding master. We divide it into rigid hours, minutes, and seconds, watching it tick away with an artificial, mechanical precision that creates stress and urgency. We falsely assume that time flows at the exact same speed for everyone, everywhere in the cosmos. But the universe tells a much more magical, liberating story. Time is flexible. It is organic, elastic, and deeply connected to the space around it. Imagine time as a clear, slow-moving river flowing through the cosmos. When this river passes near a massive object, like a giant star or a cluster of galaxies, the deep curve in space causes the river of time to slow down. It stretches out, becoming thicker and more luxurious, moving with a heavy, peaceful slowness. To an observer standing far away in the empty dark, a clock placed near a massive star would appear to tick much slower than a clock left in the open void. Seconds stretch into minutes, minutes stretch into hours. Time loses its sharpness and softens into a gentle, fluid wave. Think about the profound serenity of this reality. Time is not a rigid cage. It is a living aspect of our universe that molds itself around the matter within it. In the deep, lonely spaces between the distant galaxies, far away from the heavy pulling of matter, time flows with an absolute, unrestricted freedom. It is an environment of pure, untamed peace, where nothing changes for billions of years, and where the concept of a deadline, a schedule, or anxiety simply cannot exist. As you lie here tonight, let your internal clock slow down to match this cosmic fluidity. Let your thoughts stretch out, becoming soft, quiet, and unhurried, blending seamlessly with the timeless rhythm of the deep cosmos. Section 3. The event horizon and total serenity. In the furthest corners of this cosmic architecture, where gravity reaches its absolute maximum, we find the most mysterious and fascinating structures in existence: black holes. For a long time, science fiction has painted these objects as terrifying, violent monsters that destroy everything in their path. But if we look at them through the lens of pure physics, they reveal themselves to be places of ultimate, unyielding silence, monuments to absolute stillness and the complete cessation of time. A black hole is formed when an incredibly massive star reaches the very end of its life. Having burned all its fuel, the star can no longer support its own immense weight. In a quiet, inward collapse, the star draws all its matter into a single, infinitely small point in space. This concentration of mass creates a gravitational valley so deep, so profound, that the fabric of space curves sharply inward. The slope becomes so steep that not even light, the fastest thing in the universe, can climb back out. Because no light can escape, this region appears to us as a perfect, beautiful sphere of absolute shadow. The outer boundary of this shadow is known as the event horizon. It is not a solid wall or a physical barrier. It is an invisible, mathematical threshold in space. If you were to look at an object falling toward the event horizon from a safe distance, you would witness something truly extraordinary. Because gravity is so intense, time for the falling object slows down to a near-complete stop. As it approaches the edge of the shadow, it appears to drift slower and slower, frozen in a state of eternal suspension. It never appears to cross the boundary. Instead, it becomes a permanent part of the cosmic landscape, hovering on the edge of forever. Inside the event horizon, the universe enters a realm where the laws of the ordinary world no longer apply. It is a place of total protection from the noise, light, and chaos of the outside world. It is the quietest place in existence, a sanctuary of pure, undisturbed darkness, where the past, present, and future merge into a single, unchanging moment. As you drift closer to sleep, imagine yourself standing safely on the edge of this beautiful, quiet threshold. Let the darkness be a comforting shield that protects you from the worries of the day. Within this deep cosmic shadow, there is nothing you need to see, nothing you need to hear, and nothing you need to do. There is only peace. Section 4. The Whispers of Hawking Radiation. Even in the absolute darkness of a black hole, the universe leaves a gentle trail of warmth and connection. For decades, scientists believed that once something entered a black hole, it was lost to the cosmos forever, locked away in an eternal vault. But a beautiful discovery changed our understanding of these dark spheres. Black holes are not entirely silent. They softly breathe energy back into the universe through a process known as Hawking radiation. Deep in the empty space right outside the event horizon, quantum mechanics is constantly at work. Tiny, invisible particles of energy are born in pairs from the vacuum of space, touching for a brief moment before dissolving back into the quiet void. But occasionally, when a pair is born exactly on the boundary of a black hole, one particle falls into the shadow, while the other is allowed to escape into the open universe. This escaping particle carries away a tiny, microscopic fraction of the black hole's energy. Over trillions of years, this incredibly slow, gentle release of energy causes the black hole to slowly lose its mass. It is a process of cosmic evaporation, happening so quietly and so slowly that a human mind can barely comprehend the scale of time involved. A black hole that took a few days to form will take longer than the current age of the universe to quietly dissolve back into the starlight. It is a beautiful reminder that nothing in the universe is permanent, yet nothing is ever truly lost. Everything is constantly transforming, moving from darkness to light, and from light back to darkness, in a slow, patient cycle that spans across eternity. The cosmos is not in a hurry to finish its work. It allows the stars to burn for billions of years, and it allows the black holes to dissolve over trillions of years. You are a child of this patient universe. You do not need to solve every problem tonight. You do not need to finish your journey today. You can allow yourself to rest, knowing that the grand cycle of nature will continue to move smoothly, quietly, and perfectly without your effort. Let your mind dissolve into the warm, protective shadow of the night sky. The universe is safe, the darkness is deep, and the silence is complete. Sleep. Deep, peaceful sleep. Chapter 3. The Silent Worlds of Our Solar System. Section 1. The Deserts of the Inner Ring. Leaving the deep, mysterious shadows of interstellar black holes behind, our journey returns home, back to the familiar boundary of our own cosmic neighborhood, the solar system. Here, floating in the warm light of our parent star, a family of distinct worlds turns silently in the dark. Each planet moves along its own carved path in space, existing in a state of beautiful, perpetual isolation. To understand the grand diversity of the cosmos, we must look at these cold, lonely spheres, beginning with the sun-scorched and silent deserts closest to the light. Imagine Mercury, a small, rocky world hovering in the immediate glare of the sun. Because Mercury has no atmosphere, no blanket of air to protect it, it exists in a state of absolute, dramatic silence. There is no wind to shape its craters, no rain to soften its jagged cliffs, and no sound to echo through its deep canyons. During the long day, the sun burns its rocky surface with intense, unyielding heat. But as the planet slowly turns its back to the light, entering the deep night, the temperature drops into a freezing, unimaginable cold. It is a world of pure, unmoving contrasts, perfectly still, frozen in a timeless rhythm that has remained unchanged for 4 billion years. Further out, wrapped in a thick, heavy blanket of golden clouds, lies Venus. From a distance, Venus looks peaceful and soft, glowing brightly in the evening sky like a beautiful jewel. But beneath its thick atmosphere lies a world of immense, crushing pressure. The air is so heavy that it moves with the slow, thick momentum of a deep ocean current. On the surface of Venus, the wind whispers with a low, heavy rumble, moving through vast volcanic plains and ancient mountains of dark stone. The light that reaches the ground is a soft, permanent twilight, casting long, unmoving shadows across the landscape. It is a world hidden from the rest of the universe, locked away in its own private, warm sanctuary, completely indifferent to the passage of time. Section 2. The red solitude of Mars past. Our own beautiful blue planet Earth lies the rust-colored desert of Mars. Mars is a world of profound, romantic silence, a cold, dry planet that once flowed with vast rivers and deep blue oceans, but now rests in a state of peaceful, permanent sleep. When we look at the surface of Mars through the eyes of our robotic rovers, we see a landscape of breathtaking beauty and immense solitude. Crimson sands stretch out across the horizon, shifting slowly under the guidance of thin, gentle carbon dioxide winds. On Mars, you would find the grandest structures in the solar system, sleeping quietly under a dusty pink sky. Here lies Olympus Mons, a dormant volcano so massive that its peak reaches far above the atmosphere, touching the absolute dark of open space. Imagine standing at the base of this mountain, where the air is perfectly still, looking up at a summit that sits in eternal silence among the stars. Nearby, the Valles Marineris, a canyon system that dwarfs Earth's Grand Canyon, cuts deep into the planet's crust. Inside this immense valley, the shadows are long, cool, and completely undisturbed. No water flows through these ancient rivers anymore. There is only the soft whisper of dust drifting along the rocky floor, a quiet monument to a time long past. As the Martian night falls, the sun sets with a beautiful, unique blue glow, a soft anomaly caused by the fine dust in the thin air. The twin moons, Phobos and Deimos, drift quietly across the dark sky, casting faint, moving shadows over the red valleys below. There is an incredible, therapeutic peace in the Martian desert. It is a world that has finished its turbulent youth and has now entered a long, tranquil retirement. As you listen to my voice, let your mind drift across these quiet red plains. Let the cold, peaceful solitude of Mars soothe your thoughts, allowing your mind to become as still and undisturbed as the Martian night. Section 3. The Gas Giants and the Realm of Storms. As we cross the asteroid belt, leaving the rocky inner planets behind, the architecture of the solar system changes completely. We enter the realm of the outer giants, worlds of unimaginable scale, composed not of stone and soil, but of swirling gases, liquid oceans of hydrogen, and beautiful icy rings. The first and grandest of these worlds is Jupiter, a magnificent king turning rapidly in the deep cold of space. Jupiter is a world of perpetual hypnotic motion. Its surface is a beautiful, swirling canvas of cream, amber, and deep bronze clouds, moving in long, horizontal bands across the planet. Here, the Great Red Spot, a massive storm wider than the Earth itself, has been turning quietly for centuries. Yet, because Jupiter has no solid surface, this storm has no land to clash against. It moves with a smooth, fluid grace, a perpetual eddy in a vast atmospheric ocean. Deep beneath these outer clouds, the pressure becomes so great that gas transforms into a warm, glowing liquid ocean, a place of complete darkness and unimaginable quiet, where the outer storms are reduced to a distant, gentle hum. Surrounding Jupiter is a family of icy moons, each a unique world of its own. Imagine Europa, a sphere covered completely in a thick, pristine crust of white ice. The surface of Europa is smooth and quiet, cracked only by long, elegant lines of deep blue mineral deposits. Beneath this frozen shield lies a global ocean of liquid water, kept warm by the gentle gravitational pulling of Jupiter. In this dark, hidden ocean, miles beneath the ice, there's a world of absolute silence, completely protected from the radiation of space and the harsh cold of the void. It is a secret sanctuary, a quiet pocket of warmth waiting in the dark outer solar system. Section 4. The Icy Rings of Saturn and Beyond. Our journey takes us next to Saturn, the jewel of the solar system. Saturn is a world of ultimate elegance, famous for the magnificent wide rings that orbit smoothly around its equator. From a distance, these rings look like solid, golden paths drawn across the dark. But as we move closer, we discover that they are composed of trillions of individual particles of pure, sparkling water ice. ranging from the size of a grain of sand to the size of a grand mountain. Each piece of ice in Saturn's rings is a tiny moon, orbiting the planet with absolute precision and harmony. They do not collide in chaos. Instead, they flow together like a majestic, silent river of diamonds, catching the faint light of the distant sun and reflecting it into the dark void. Imagine floating among these icy particles, watching them drift slowly against the background of the black universe. The motion is so stable, so predictable, that it creates a feeling of profound, mathematical peace. It is a cosmic symphony conducted by gravity, playing a song of perfect, eternal order. Beyond Saturn lie the lonely sentinels of the outer ring, Uranus and Neptune. These are the ice giants, worlds of deep sapphire and pale aquamarine, sitting in the coldest, darkest corners of our solar neighborhood. On Uranus, the planet tilts completely on its side, rolling around the sun like a quiet blue ball, experiencing seasons that last for decades. Neptune, the furthest official planet, is a world of deep, serene blue, swept by winds that move in complete, icy silence through an atmosphere of methane and hydrogen. Here, at the edge of the solar system, the sun is nothing more than an exceptionally bright star in the dark sky, casting a faint, cool light over these forgotten worlds. The solar system is a grand tapestry of silence, from the sun-baked stones of Mercury to the icy winds of Neptune. Every planet, every moon, moves in its appointed path, never rushing, never straying, existing in absolute harmony with the laws of creation. You, too, are moving along your own natural path. You are safe within the grand design of the cosmos. Let the cold, beautiful stillness of the outer worlds wash over you. The planets are turning, the stars are shining, and your journey for today is complete. Sleep. Deep, peaceful sleep. Chapter 4. The Deep History of Earth and the Drift of Continents. Section 1. The Cradle of Blue and Green. After traveling through the freezing architecture of the outer gas giants and the silent, dark voids of interstellar space, our cosmic journey gently returns home. We descend through the soft, protective layers of an atmosphere filled with life, coming to rest upon the only planet we know that breathes, changes, and remembers, the Earth. To a human mind, our daily lives feel fast, vibrant, and urgent. But if we pull back our perspective and look at the Earth through the lens of cosmic time, we discover a world of profound, ancient stability, a planet that has been turning quietly in the starlight for 4.5 billion years, moving with the patient, unhurried rhythm of geology. Imagine the Earth in its infancy, billions of years ago. It was not always the beautiful blue and green sanctuary we know today. In the beginning, it was a world of fire and molten stone, a chaotic canvas of raw cosmic energy. But the universe never rushes its creations. Over millions of centuries, the planet began to cool. The heavy dark stones settled deep into the core, while a lighter, rocky crust formed on the surface like ice over a winter lake. Volcanoes continuously released gases from deep underground, creating a thick, protective blanket of primitive air. Then came the greatest transformation of all, the arrival of water. For millions of years, as the planet cooled, torrential rains fell from the dark skies, filling the deep valleys and low plains of the rocky crust. Slowly, beautifully, the first oceans were born. These were not yet the oceans of today, but vast, silent bodies of pristine water reflecting the light of a young sun and a completely empty sky. There were no fish, no plants, and no birds, only the endless rhythmic sound of waves crashing against barren volcanic shores in absolute solitude. It was a world of ultimate peace, a clean slate, preparing for the long, slow story of life. Section 2. The Dance of the Continents. We often think of the ground beneath our feet as the absolute definition of permanence. We build our homes, our roads, and our entire civilizations upon the land, trusting that it will never move. But geology reveals a much more fluid and magical truth. The continents we live on are not fixed rocks. They are massive, heavy plates of stone floating upon a warm, semi-liquid layer of rock deep inside the earth, known as the mantle. The surface of our planet is a living jigsaw puzzle, moving with a slowness that is deeply comforting to contemplate. Over hundreds of millions of years, these tectonic plates drift across the face of the globe, traveling at a speed of just a few inches every year, about the same speed at which human fingernails grow. It is a movement so slow, so deliberate, that it cannot be felt by any living creature. Yet, over cosmic epochs, this silent drift completely reshapes the geography of the world. Imagine the supercontinent of Pangaea, which existed hundreds of millions of years ago. All the land on Earth was joined together into one single, massive island, surrounded by a global, unbroken ocean. Slowly, over tens of millions of years, the invisible currents deep within the Earth began to pull Pangaea apart. North America drifted away from Europe, Africa separated from South America. The Atlantic Ocean quietly opened between them, a tiny crack that grew into a vast blue expanse over unimaginable spans of time. As these massive pieces of stone crashed into one another in slow motion, they did not create sudden chaos. Instead, they gently folded the crust upward, creating the grand mountain ranges of our world. The Himalayas, the Alps, and the Andes were all built by this patient, tectonic dance. When you look at a mountain, you are looking at a wave of stone, frozen in time, a monument to the incredible, quiet strength of our living planet. Section 3. The Blanket of the Ice Ages. As the continents drifted into their modern positions, the Earth experienced grand cycles of warmth and cooling, guided by the subtle tilting of its axis and its orbit around the Sun. Among the most peaceful periods in our planet's deep history are the Ice Ages, epochs where the modern world was placed into a long, quiet winter, wrapped in a pristine blanket of white and blue ice. Imagine the planet 20,000 years ago. Massive glaciers, miles thick, advanced slowly from the north, covering vast expanses of Europe, Asia, and North America. This was not a time of violent destruction, but a period of profound, structural stillness. The great forests and plains were replaced by endless fields of deep snow and monumental walls of ancient ice. The air was incredibly crisp, clear, and perfectly quiet. The sound of the wind moving over the vast white plateaus was the only music in a landscape that stretched out to the horizon in absolute purity. Under the immense weight of these glaciers, the land was carved, shaped, and smoothed. As the planet eventually warmed and the ice slowly retreated over thousands of years, it left behind the beautiful geography we enjoy today. The Great Lakes of North America, the deep fjords of Norway, and the thousands of clear lakes in Finland were all dug by the gentle, heavy hands of moving ice. The Ice Ages were a period of rest and renewal, a cosmic winter that prepared the soil for the vibrant green world that would follow. As you lie in your bed tonight, let your mind rest upon this image of an all-enveloping, clean winter. Let the quiet purity of the ancient snow soothe your thoughts, freezing any remaining worries and leaving your mind perfectly clear and still. Section 4. The global balance and eternal rest. Today, as you rest in the safety of your room, the earth continues its ancient, faithful cycles. The tides rise and fall twice a day, guided by the gentle gravitational pulling of the moon. The currents of the deep oceans move warm water from the equator to the poles, regulating the temperature of the entire planet like a giant, slow-moving heartbeat. The carbon cycle, the water cycle, and the oxygen cycle all operate automatically, maintaining a perfect, delicate balance that supports all living things. The planet does not require your permission or your effort to maintain this harmony. It has survived asteroid impacts, volcanic eras, and continental shifts, always returning to a state of stable, beautiful balance. You are a child of this resilient, patient world. Your body is built from its elements, your breath comes from its atmosphere, and your rhythm is tied to its 24-hour turn through the darkness of space. You do not need to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders tonight. The earth is carrying you. Feel the heavy, comforting connection between your body and the bed. You are resting on a world that is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour through the cosmos. Yet everything in your room is perfectly still, perfectly safe, and perfectly quiet. The mountains are sleeping. The oceans are whispering in the dark. The continents are drifting on their timeless journeys. And you can finally close your eyes and let go. The story for today is finished. The universe is at peace, the earth is at rest, and the night is yours. Sleep. Deep, eternal sleep.